Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second class on 10 principles of economics beta. And today we will be going ahead and we will be discussing the second principle of economics. And the second principle says the cost of something is what you get, what you give up to get it. The cost of something is what you give up to get it. So, just for example, suppose let's say that, I'm asking you that, beta, what is the cost of watching a movie on TV? आप अपने घर पे बैठे हो and you're watching a movie and I ask you what's the cost of watching this movie. So when you spend 2 hours watching a movie, जब आप ये 2 घंटे मूवी देखने में लगा रहे हो, you are not doing something else. Suppose you're not studying, right? Suppose you have an exam and you are not studying, तो क्या होगा बेटा इससे? You will be scoring less marks. So the cost of watching this 2 hour movie is the marks that you give up. जो marks आप दे रहे हो, that is the cost, right? Similarly, for example, if I tell you that after college you have two options. Option number one is that you can go and do masters in economics. And option number two is that you can work, you can take a job. और जब आप एक job लोगे, you will get 40,000 per month. So what is the cost of doing masters, beta? Suppose masters is a 2-year program. तो आपको 40,000 per month, you are not able to earn this, right? So into 12 for 1 year, and आप 2 साल के लिए पैसा गवा रहे हो because you are doing masters, which is a 2-year program. तो 40,000 into 12 into 2, 12 months हर साल में होते हैं. 2 years का program है, 40,000 से multiply करोगे. That is your cost of doing masters program. ठीक है. So when you go ahead and you calculate things like this, मतलब अगर मास्टर्स नहीं करते तो क्या करते? If you would not do masters, you will do job. So the money you earn in job, this beta is called as the opportunity cost. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? Opportunity cost. So this is what it is saying. The cost of something, मतलब यहाँ पे something क्या है? Doing masters is what you give up to get it. तो क्या give up कर रहे हो? एक job give up कर रहे हो. So the cost of doing masters is the job you are giving up to get that degree. ठीक है. Masters करने का जो cost है वो क्या है? The job that you are giving up. Now this is what is called as opportunity cost. So please write down the definition of opportunity cost with me. Opportunity cost. So what is opportunity cost, beta? The cost of next best alternative is called opportunity cost. Cost of next best alternative is called as opportunity cost. या फिर you can write alternatively whatever must be given up to obtain some item. तो जो भी आप गिव अप कर रहे हो कोई और आइटम लेने के लिए, whatever must be given up to obtain some item, that is called as opportunity cost. समझे? So in this case, opportunity cost is the salary you could have earned by doing the job. जो salary आप कमाते वो उसका opportunity cost है. बेटा principle number 3. This says rational people think at the margin. Rational people think at the margin. Now I want to explain two things. First of all, who are rational people? कौन होते हैं rational लोग? Any individual who is working for himself, working to maximize his utility, his satisfaction, working to do what is best for him is a rational person. Okay? So, for example, if I take a job because it makes me happy, right? If I quit a job because it does not make me happy, है ना? तो जो भी लोग अपने बारे में सोचते हैं, अपने ऑब्जेक्टिव्स को सोचते हैं, अपनी यूटिलिटी को मैक्सिमाइज करते हैं, those people are called as rational people, right? So rational people, please write down who are rational people. Rational people systematically and purposefully do the best they can to achieve their objectives given available opportunities. तो जैसे अगर आपको एक जॉब दिख रही है और वो जॉब बहुत अच्छी जॉब है एंड दैट इज द बेस्ट जॉब दैट यू कैन गेट, इट इज योर ड्रीम जॉब, बट आप वो जॉब छोड़ दो, यू गिव इट फॉर योर फ्रेंड कि यू नो माय फ्रेंड शुड टेक इट, इट इज ओके, माय फ्रेंड इज इन मोर नीड ऑफ मनी, मेरे फ्रेंड को ये मिल जाए तो बेटर रहेगा, then you are not acting rationally, because rational people, they purposely do the best what they can to achieve their objective. They are only thinking about themselves. That individual who thinks about themselves, जो सिर्फ अपने बारे में सोचता है, वो rational individual है. So this is rational. Now second definition that we want to focus on beta, that is margin. Second definition is margin. Margin क्या होता है बेटा? Margin means a small incremental adjustment to plan of action. So please write down a small incremental adjustment to the plan of action. Small incremental adjustment to plan of action. तो marginal क्या है ना, मतलब हमेशा एज पे सोचना, सिर्फ आखिरी यूनिट के लिए सोचना, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज मार्जिन. ठीक है? तो जैसे अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि आप अपने 24 आवर्स कैसे स्पेंड करना चाहोगे, टीवी देख के या पढ़ाई करके, दैट इज अ डिफिकल्ट डिसीजन टू मेक. बट अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं कि बेटा ये आपको मैं ये जो एक नेक्स्ट 1 आवर दे रही हूँ फ्रॉम 5 PM to 6 PM, हाउ वुड यू लाइक टू स्पेंड दैट, बाय स्टडिंग और बाय वॉचिंग टीवी, दैट इज एन इजी डिसीजन टू मेक, राइट? सो यू आर नॉट, जब एग्जाम आने वाले होते हैं, यू आर नॉट मेकिंग डिसीजन बिटवीन पढ़ना या नहीं पढ़ना, यू आर मेकिंग डिसीजन बिटवीन ये 1 एक्स्ट्रा आवर को मैं पढ़ने पे डेडिकेट करूं या नहीं. सो यू आर ऑलवेज थिंकिंग एट मार्जिन, यू आर ऑलवेज थिंकिंग एट व्हाट हैपेंस व्हेन 1 एक्स्ट्रा यूनिट हैज टू बी अबाउट दैट 1 एक्स्ट्रा यूनिट. वो एक एक्स्ट्रा घंटा अगर खर्च करना है तो वो कैसे खर्च करो वो सोचते हो, राइट? Similarly, suppose you know, we think about a firm. ठीक है, धीरे धीरे you things will make sense. हाँ, अभी तो we are just starting with economics. So suppose we think about a firm. तो firm will not think कि okay, how will I produce this 200 units? How will I sell them now? Firm will think कि if I produce this 1 एक्स्ट्रा यूनिट, अगर मैं ये एक एक्स्ट्रा यूनिट प्रोड्यूस करूं, at what price should I sell that extra unit? वो एक एक्स्ट्रा यूनिट में कितने में बेच पाऊं, right? So when we say margin, margin means that people always think about that one extra unit, उस एक extra में क्या कर सकते हैं और कैसे कर सकते हैं, that are the decisions which people want to go ahead and people want to make, right? So that is the reason in economics we introduce terms like marginal benefit. Marginal benefit basically says what is the extra benefit derived when one extra unit of good is consumed. माने अगर मैं आपको एक एक्स्ट्रा पानी का ग्लास दूं, जब आप 10 ग्लासेस पी चुके हो, तो एक्स्ट्रा आपको कितना यूटिलिटी मिलेगा एक्स्ट्रा? एंड ऑन द अदर हैंड, इफ आई गिव यू वन एक्स्ट्रा डायमंड when you have 10 diamond, तो आपको एक्स्ट्रा कितना satisfaction मिलेगा, right? So we are always thinking at margin, we are always thinking about marginal benefit. Marginal benefit means extra benefit derived when one extra unit of the extra unit is consumed, right? So that is an important decision that people have to go ahead and make. तो अगर आपने कभी नोटिस किया हो, यू वुड हैव रियलाइज दैट सपोज लेट्स गो अहेड, इसी एग्जांपल को थोड़ा कंटिन्यू करते हैं, एंड लेट्स से दैट केस 1, you have 10 diamond and I ask you what is the extra benefit you derive from one extra diamond. बहुत ज्यादा मिलेगा, डायमंड के लिए एवरीवन इज ऑलवेज हैप्पी. केस 2, suppose I tell you beta you have consumed 10 units of water, 10 glasses of water. What is the extra benefit you will derive from one extra unit of water? अगर एक extra glass पानी का पियोगे तो कितना extra benefit मिलेगा? Now suppose I am in a desert. तो वो पहले यूनिट ग्लास से तो पानी के तो it would have been like everything for me. It would have been like heaven, the first unit of water. But when you have already given me 10 units of water, even if I am in a desert, that extra one unit will not make a lot of sense to me. ठीक है, 10 ग्लास पानी पी तो लिया, but that extra one diamond will make more sense to me. So if I ask you कि इसका extra benefit ज्यादा होगा क्या या इसका, definitely this will have more extra marginal benefit. Now, usually you will see that diamond का जो price रहता है, the price of diamond is always more than the price of water. Is always more than the price of water. One of the reason is this only, because the marginal benefit of diamond, जब आप diamond consume करते हो, तो जो वो एक extra diamond से satisfaction मिलेगा, that will be much more when as compared to one extra unit of water. Right? But remember, we are already assuming that you have 10 units of diamond. तो भी इसका एक extra unit of diamond will give you more satisfaction. So people always think at margin. They always think कि एक extra unit से क्या होगा? What will happen when you have one extra unit available? That is an important property of this principle. ठीक है? Okay, बेटा. Now let us go ahead and talk about principle number 4. So principle 4 basically goes ahead and says people respond to incentives. People respond to incentive. What is an incentive? An incentive is something that can induce a person to act. Just for example, if I tell you, beta, can you just study for 1 hour? If you study for 1 hour, na, I will go ahead and give you a movie ticket. Yeah, if you study for 5 hours, na, then tomorrow your parents will take you for a day out. माने वो आपको कोई एक ब्राइब दे रहे हैं, एक तरीके से बोलें कि ये कर दो, फिर ये हम कर देंगे, या ऐसा कर दो फिर वो हम कर देंगे, राइट? सो इंसेंटिव इज समथिंग that induces a person to act. समथिंग दैट इंड्यूसेस अ पर्सन टू एक्ट। तो हम लोगों को इंड्यूस कर रहे हैं, हम लोगों को बोल रहे हैं, वी आर टेलिंग पीपल दैट इफ यू डू दिस वी विल डू दिस, right? So for example, this is something which is very often used by policymakers, often used by policymakers, ठीक है? Take an example, जैसे what we can go ahead and do, we can go ahead and we can say that if your speed is more than 100 kilometer per hour, then you will give a fine. आपको फाइन देना पड़ेगा, right? So what we are doing, we are inducing them to act in a particular way. हम ये ensure कर रहे हैं that people don't drive at more than 100 kilometer per hour. Similarly, we can go ahead and get some policy for driving, for wearing belts while driving, huh? Car belt, right? Similarly, what we can do is, अगर हमें चाहिए that people don't use a particular form of car, हमें चाहिए कि लोग डीजल कार ना यूज करें, या we want people to shift towards electric vehicle, what will we do? We can tax diesel cars and we can give subsidy on electric vehicle. This will ensure that people go ahead and they don't use diesel cars and use more of electric vehicle. So ये सारे incentive हैं. So when you go ahead and you do something like this, like a shopkeeper can do, that you know, this is often done in Haldiram. Haldiram में अगर आप जाओगे ना, so Haldiram will keep this that after 8 p.m. I am going to give 10% off on sweets, right? So when you are, तो अब क्या होगा ना, that people will purchase sweets after 8 p.m. So when you give them incentive like this, कि ऐसे करोगे तो ऐसे होगा, so this ensures that he is able to sell sweets even after 8 p.m. या sell जिस पे भी he keeps this 10% off, right? So people act to incentive. जब आप कुछ announce करते हो, people go ahead and they act accordingly, ठीक है? So these first four principles, beta, when we talk about the first four principles, they actually go ahead and they fall under the category how people make decision. तो एक बारी जरा हम ऊपर चलते हैं. So the first four principles that we have done, they come under the category how people make decision. So यहाँ पे हम लिख लेते हैं. Let's write this down. This was under how people make decision, कि लोग कैसे कौन से principles पे अपने decision लेते हैं. And in this case we saw that there were four principles. पहला principle हमने क्या देखा? We saw that people face trade-off, राइट? उनको सोचना होता है कि ये करें या ये करें, ये करेंगे तो वो नहीं कर पाएंगे, वो करेंगे तो ये नहीं कर पाएंगे. सो दे हैव टू फेस अ ट्रेड ऑफ व्हाट टू डू. The second principle that we studied is that you have to give up something to get something else, and the concept of opportunity cost. That if you go to college, you have to give up on the job. The third principle, we said that whenever making decision, people will think at margin, that what happens when I do this one extra unit, right? And the fourth thing is that people, they respond to incentives. They respond to incentives while making decision. ठीक है? So while thinking कि sweets 8 p.m. से पहले खरीदना है या बाद में, whether I should purchase sweets before 8 p.m. or after 8 p.m., I will go ahead and I will react to the advertisement that Haldiram has made, right? So these are the first four principles, beta. Now the next principle, they come under another category, how people interact. अब लोग एक दूसरे के साथ interact कैसे करते हैं? How people interact, this is something that we need to learn. And within this, we have the next principle, principle number 5, which says trade can make everyone better off. Trade can make everyone better off. Okay. So whenever there is a trade that happens, जैसे for example एक बहुत simple सा example लो, let's say that there is country A. Country A is producing wheat. There is country B. Country B is producing clothes. Now people in country A उनको clothes भी चाहिए. They need clothes to wear. And people in country B उनको खाना चाहिए. They need wheat. So what can they do? They can go ahead and they can trade with each other. Country B can sell clothes to country A. And country A can sell wheat to country B. Right? So trade helps us to make things better. Trade करने से चीजें better हो जाती हैं. Right? Now, similarly, let us go ahead and let us think about another example. So, whenever we talk about individuals, ठीक है, जैसे एक बहुत simple example है, think about you and your friend. Suppose your friend is very good in maths and you are very good in economics, microeconomics. तो क्या कर सकते हो? You can teach your friend microeconomics. Your friend can teach you maths, and both of you can be better off. है ना? So clearly, both of you can gain from trading. जब दोनों ने एक दूसरे को समझाया, एक एक सब्जेक्ट पढ़ाया, तो दोनों ही better off हो गए. So trade can help things make better off, whether it is between country or whether it is between individuals. चाहे वो पूरी पूरी कंट्री ट्रेड करे या इंडिविजुअल ट्रेड करे, both of the countries, individual families, they can be better off by doing trade. So by trade, what happens, beta? That in trade, each country produces what it specializes in. And enjoy greater variety of goods and services. माने इसने वो प्रोड्यूस किया है जिसमें ये अच्छा है. कंट्री ए स्पेशलाइज्ड इन व्हीट, सो ए प्रोड्यूस्ड व्हीट. कंट्री बी स्पेशलाइज्ड इन क्लोथ्स, so B produced clothes, and then they traded with each other, and both of them got both clothes and wheats. So both of them got greater variety of goods and service. दोनों को ही ज्यादा variety of goods and service मिल गई ट्रेड करके, but they produced what they specialized in. दोनों ने produce वो किया जिसमें उनका specialization था. Right? So they produce what they specialize in, but at the end they end up getting everything. Right? Okay. Now let us go ahead and let us think about the next thing, which is principle number 6. And principle number 6 is markets are usually a good way to organize economic activity. Markets are a good way to organize economic activity. Money. Just for example, let us go ahead and let us say that there is an individual who has, इसी का example ले लेते हैं. जैसे there is an individual who is producing wheat, and there is another individual who is producing cloth. अब ये जो wheat वाला individual है, he needs clothes, and this individual who is producing cloth, he need wheat. So how will the transaction take place? बेटा ये transaction कैसे होगी? The transaction has to take place in the market. What is market? Market किस चीज को बोलते हैं? Anywhere where a transaction takes place, where goods are sold and purchased, is a market. जहां पे भी परचेजिंग एंड सेलिंग हो रही है, गुड्स खरीदे जा रहे हैं, गुड्स बेचे जा रहे हैं, whether online or offline, whether you are purchasing it on Myntra, Amazon, or whether you're going to a sabji mandi and buying sabji, right? That is called as a market. So when we have a market, people are able to interact with each other. लोग एक दूसरे के साथ interact कर पाते हैं. right? And when people are able to interact with each other, then they are able to organize economic activity. Meaning they are able to earn money, right? They are able to go ahead and organize the economic activities. Now, but as I told you earlier also, there are three kind of economies. The first is called as market economy. Market economy is where you go ahead and you leave everything to the market. आप सब कुछ market पे छोड़ देते हो. The other one is called as centrally planned economy or socialist economy. Socialist economy is where everything is under one person. King होता है कोई, उस राजा के हाथ में सब कुछ होता है. There is a dictator. Everything is in the hand of dictator, something like that. And the third one that you have, that is basically called as mixed economy. Mixed economy is where there is going to be role of government. Government तो होगी, but market भी होगी. And they will coexist with each other. दोनों ही एक साथ exist करेंगे, government and market. Right? So when we talk about market economy, in market economy, basically what is going to happen is that there is going to be everything and the prices will be set through the forces of demand and supply. हम देखेंगे एक चीज का कितना डिमांड है, एक चीज का कितना सप्लाई है, और जहां पे भी डिमांड और सप्लाई मैच करेगा, मीट करेगा, दैट इज वेयर यू विल हैव इक्विलिब्रियम. ठीक है. Now there was an individual beta who was called as Adam Smith. Adam Smith is called as the father of economics. And Adam Smith ने क्या बोला? He said that we have a concept of invisible hand. So Adam Smith brought the concept of invisible hand. He said that there is no role of the government and market should be left to themselves to operate. So market should be left upon themselves to operate. Market खुद से ऑपरेट करेगा, जहां पे डिमांड और सप्लाई मीट करेगा. कुछ लोग डिमांड करेंगे, कुछ सप्लाई करेंगे. प्राइस जो होगा वो खुद से मार्केट में डिमांड एंड सप्लाई से डिटरमाइन हो जाएगा. एंड देयर इज नो रोल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. गवर्नमेंट की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. सो स्मिथ वाज अ follower of the market economy, right? But then during the period of Great Depression, we had the coming up of Keynes. And Keynes said, ना, role of government is important. Government का role भी important है. Right? We need government. जैसे what if we want to work on defense? या what if we want to work on something like electricity, जहाँ पे private players नहीं आना चाहते? या what if we want to remove inequality? हाँ, we want to collect tax from rich and give it to the poor. Then we need some role of the central planners. हमें central planner का कुछ role का जरूरत है, right? So both of them came up with their own views. But what this principle says is that overall अगर हमें कोई भी economic activity को organize करना है, if we want to go ahead and we want to sell goods and service, purchase goods and service, do transactions, do any economic activity, then a good way to do them will be through the market. बिना market के चीजें बेचना और खरीदना पॉसिबल नहीं होगा. Most of the economies need market for goods and service to be purchased and sold. ठीक है? Okay. Now, principle number 7. बेटा प्रिंसिपल 7 कहता है गवर्नमेंट कैन समटाइम्स improve market outcomes. Government can sometimes improve market outcome. और इसमें हम पहली बात तो देखो यहाँ पे केन्स ने बोला ना कि गवर्नमेंट का रोल है. So we want to talk about that. So the first thing I want to talk about is called as property rights. ठीक है बेटा. Property rights is the ability of individual to own and exercise control over scarce resources. Please write down. Ability of individual to own and exercise control over scarce resources. Okay. Just for example, suppose your great grandfather had a beautiful house. Who ensured कि आपके ग्रैंडफादर ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर से आपके ग्रैंडफादर को, आपके ग्रैंडफादर से आपके फादर को, एंड आपके फादर से आपको मिले? Who ensured that there will be a transfer of the property in the right way? Who ensures that after your great grandfather died, no third person got this? That means there were some property rights defined. And who ensures that they will be followed? Government. Okay. Suppose there is some XYZ production house, ठीक है, जिन्होंने एक मूवी इंट्रोड्यूस की इन द थिएटर हॉल्स, ठीक है. Who ensures that there will be no illegal copy of this movie? कि ये ऐसे ही स्प्रेड आउट नहीं हो जाएगी? गवर्नमेंट. सो व्हेनेवर, सो दे, ये इनका प्रॉपर्टी राइट है, ये मूवी XYZ प्रोडक्शन हाउस का प्रॉपर्टी राइट है. So there should be no illegal copies that should be created. So whenever we talk about property rights, we need the role of the government. The second thing that we have is beta market failure. Market failure is whenever we have two main things. Market failure is when, so what did Adam Smith say? Adam Smith said, leave market to itself. Market को अपने आप पे छोड़ दो. Demand and supply will ensure that market functions well. जहां पे भी demand और supply meet करेगा, वहीं पे market उसका price determine करके बता देगी. But there are many situations where market cannot function well. ऐसी जगहें होती हैं जहां पे market ढंग से काम नहीं कर पाती है, and that situation is called as a market failure. उसी को हम market failure बोल देते हैं. So please write down a situation in which market is left to itself is called market. A situation where market is left to itself, but पूरा definition ही से लिख लेते हैं, but it fails to allocate resources efficiently is called market failure. माने for goods where market cannot be defined, that is called as market failure. Let me give you two main examples beta of market failure. पहला हो जाता है externality. First one is externality. जैसे this is person A, this is person B. अब person A यहां पर he is smoking, एंड इससे पर्सन बी की हेल्थ अफेक्ट हो रही है, उसके लंग्स अफेक्ट हो रहे हैं. बट विल पर्सन ए पे पर्सन बी फॉर हिज हेल्थ? क्या वो उसको कॉम्पनसेट कर रहा है? इज ही पेइंग हिम फॉर हिज हेल्थ? नो. पर्सन ए उसको कुछ पैसा थोड़ी दे रहा है, राइट? सो दिस इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ मार्केट फेलियर. क्योंकि हमने ये स्मोकिंग से जो इसका हेल्थ को नुकसान हो रहा है, whatever problem this person is facing in his health, because this person is smoking, we haven't accounted that through the market. हमने उसका कोई market नहीं create किया है. We haven't created the demand and supply of the health issues created due to smoking, right? And this kind of thing is called as an externality, and in particular negative externality. Negative externality. Why negative externality? Because person B is getting affected negatively. और क्यों external क्यों है? Because it is not being recorded in the market. There is no price that is attached to this. Similarly, in winters, Delhi में जितने बच्चे होंगे, they will know that in winters there is so much pollution in Delhi that it is harming our lungs. Right? Now there is a person who is driving a car and his car is causing further pollution into the air. Will he pay you? क्या वो आपको पे कर देगा पैसा क्योंकि आपके lungs खराब हो रहे हैं? No. So this is an example of negative externality. The person is affecting you negatively, but you are not accounting it in the market. उसको आप market में नहीं दिखा रहे हो. You are not getting paid. Not accounting in the market means उसका हमने कुछ प्राइस नहीं लगाया कि तुम्हारी गाड़ी चलाने से मुझे कितना नुकसान. If you drive a car, how much issue my health will have, we have not accounted for that fact, right? So it's a negative externality. The second kind of market failure is when we have power, market power. Market power is when one individual has a lot of power in the market, just a monopoly. So monopoly means single producer. So imagine karo that there is this medicine, suppose COVID-19 medicine, which could completely treat COVID. एक ऐसी दवाई थी, सपोज एक ऐसी दवाई है जो कोविड को कंप्लीटली आपके बॉडी से हटा सकती है, पर उसको सिर्फ एक ही प्रोड्यूसर बनाता है. तो क्या वो मार्केट के हिसाब से चलेगा? क्या वो प्राइस उसका कम रखेगा? नहीं, वो जो मन में है वो प्राइस उस चीज का रख सकता है. राइट? सो ही इज नॉट गोइंग टू वर्क अकॉर्डिंग टू द डिमांड एंड विलिंगनेस टू पे ऑफ पीपल. वो इस चीज पे नहीं चलेगा कि लोग कितना दे सकते हैं. He will go ahead and he will work to maximize his own profit, to keep his self-interest in mind. So here market will fail. Market के demand supply के हिसाब से काम नहीं होगा. He will keep a price much more than the equilibrium price. जहां पे भी demand और supply meet करके price दे रहे होंगे, वो उस price से काफी ज्यादा price रखेगा. Right? So this is an example of again where markets basically go ahead and fail. Right? So whenever there is a market failure, wherever there is a market failure, then we know that there is going to be role of the government. The government can help improve the market outcome. Another example can be, the role of government can be to bring equality. Now there are people who are poor. There are people who are rich. तो गवर्नमेंट क्या कर सकता है? गवर्नमेंट कैन कलेक्ट टैक्स फ्रॉम रिच एंड कैन रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट टू द पुअर. गवर्नमेंट इन लोगों से टैक्स कलेक्ट करेगा और इन लोगों को टैक्स दे देगा, ये पैसा डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर देगा, in order to go ahead and bring some equality between the two people. Right? So again beta, this is the role of the government. Right? So government, ये principle क्या कहते हैं? That the government has a role to play. Government can go ahead and improve the market outcomes. This is your first 7 principles. Okay, okay beta. Thank you.